I'm really afraid to be the next after these two really great presentations, like small fight, and I'm afraid to be here after this, but okay. But again, my presentation is a little bit about participating, so one more word about participating, how it can be with immigrants, how Russians here for this moment, so hope it will be interesting. Let's start. It's a lot of Russians here right now. It was empty like only a few years ago. Now it's 2,000, or maybe more, I don't know. What is good about all these Russians? Usually they are well educated, they know English, sometimes Serbsky, better than me by the way, and not all of them it's IT guys, so most of them here it's IT, and IT sector in Serbia is really, really huge right now. But a lot of people who now in Serbia will Belgrade, it's also architects, it's also a transport planner, and a lot of experts here. So I think it's a really great opportunity for Belgrade, for Serbia to use this experience, to use these people in a lot of projects around the city. So how it will start? The name Ambasada is already just 1 month maybe, so it will be hard to think about how we call each other. And we start only in January this year, after all these 2 years of stress and moving to Serbia. After this time, we just understand, okay, now we're here, we want to understand the city, we want to understand the people around us, we want to be part of this stories, so it's really important for us to be here, not just, okay, we speak Russian or something and live in this bubble, so we want to be part of Belgrade, and the best way for me and for my friends to be part of something is to research something, to understand something, to just walk and ask what we do. So now, from January, when I just call my friends, okay, maybe some lectures about Belgrade, maybe some interesting points about Belgrade, just tell me what is here. After all this, and a lot of people come by the way, it was the same space here, so it's really comfortable for me to be in the same space after all these months. So none of us do this project for Zvezdarska Suma, and a lot of people help us accept all these experts. Of course, it's a really important part of our concept, it's to invite everyone, so a lot of people like volunteers and experts was involved from other projects from other side, and also if you want to be part of us, always help well. Experience of people who are here is really, really huge. It's just an example, just few examples of the projects we do before in Russia. It's a big project, commercial projects for millions of euros, and from 1 year sometimes, so it's really big projects. It's not just urban territory analysis, sometimes it's IT projects, like this digital map of road accidents. So all these projects, all this expertise we can use and plan to use here. It's always based on really good methodology, on really let's say science or something like this. So it's not just research students do, it's a great expertise we plan to use in Zvezdarska Suma as well. Just 4 points we use. It's of course data analysis and risk analysis, some kinds of research, field research and online research, and of course speak with people, talk with people, understand the people. It's also part of research we do here. This kind of food I just found it near the Zvezdarska Suma. It was in the restaurant somewhere, and really great. It's like neon sign. It was important for me because I think Zvezdarska Suma and Zvezdar can be this kind of green oasis and oasis in the city center. So I take this photo just to start talking about this Zvezdar. Why Zvezdarska, by the way? Yeah, of course we know how to do a lot of projects, transport project, ecological projects, and so on. But when I just opened the map of Belgrade, okay, I know nothing about city. What I do, I just open the map, and the Zvezdar is the biggest green area in the Belgrade near me, It's the biggest park, I think, before, so, okay, oh, Zvezda, wow. What is also important is to find out the observatory. Wow, it's observatory, I can just go to see the stars, great. So one more place, a really great place in Belgrade as well. And again, after I found observatory and this park on the map, what was important is I just searched a little bit. Okay, Zvezdarska, Suma, what I can find about in the internet about this. And I saw a really great community about this park. A lot of people try to protect this area. A lot of people try to save this area, to improve the park. It was really important that people not just live and use this park. They live behind and try to say, okay, I'm just part of this story. I'm just part of this park. Let's do something together around the park. So it was important for me. So and we choose Zvezda in this case as well. Just a few, let's say, important points, because our research, I will talk about, not at the final line, so it's still in the process, it's still in progress. We plan to finish it in September, only May. But we finished very important part about analysis, and the results I will show you, it's about this part. So it's not about, okay, you should build something here, or you should remove something from this. It's about research, what we understand about this place. Yeah, you see, it's only 3 months. Just a few numbers. It's not 10 volunteers, it's for this moment 17, a little bit more, so, sorry. But also a lot of data we collected from online sources, from offline sources. We read old newspaper, for example, from archive. We also see the plans, the cadastre, and other sources of information. So we try to use this information as well. Mental maps, and you see we still need some of them. So if you live near the Zvezda and know this part, it will be great to help us to go through interview and just draw a little bit these mental cards. Just we understand how you feel about this place. Maybe if you live in Belgrade, you already know all these stories about Zvezda, but for us it was important to understand that it's not just a park, it's not just a hill. It's a great place with great historical heritage. It's not just for this moment, it's not for 100 years. So Zvezda always was a source of resource of something, of fresh water for people around, resource for clean air right now. So anyway, it's very important part from history point of view. It's also put in our background, it also puts in our research. I will start from data, but it's more easy for me like IT guy, so it's, for me it's always let's say, fast to search something, so we will start with data and mix analysis. Some maps, a lot of maps will be here, don't worry. You also can find these maps printed on the next room. And first one, it's about the transport. What, just let's say 3 things you need to make a great park, really great park. The first thing that you can go and find this park very quickly. So if we just put some points in the city, you see if you use a car, it's only 5 or 15 minutes to go to the Zvezda. It's more by public transport, half an hour, but still it's available. So it's in the city center and it's available. If you check the density of the population around the Zvezda, so it's a lot of really a lot of people just live around the Zvezda, so all these people can use the park and can be visitors of this park. And also, of course, it's the biggest green area in the park. When we just count all parks, small parks around the Zvezda, the square of all this park is much smaller than Zvezda is. So again, it's how important this place in the city, not just for Zvezda like a district, but for whole city. Just few examples of the parks near the Zvezda. Some of them are really small, not all of them are really in good conditions. And so just a few examples how this small parks looks like. We also just start to, okay, public transport. Why people use public transport and to go to the Zvezda? How they use the public transport to go to the Zvezda? It's a lot of bus lines and tram lines around, but looks like you see only 17% of the visitors never use public transport to go to Zvezda. It's also surprised me because the bus stop of 65 line is just in the middle of the park, so the frequency is really high, so okay, it's strange. Again, people who live just near the Zvezda, they usually walk, just to walk, not taking the public transport. If it's not a public transport, it's a car. And park now is car oriented, and a lot of people use car to go to the park, and they park just in this middle, in the center of the park. So when we count all these cars, you see it's more space for cars here than for child, for example. It's the central part, the best part of the Zvezdarska Suma, and all these cars just in the middle. We also check about functions. Is it a lot or not? You see a lot of points around the Zvezda. Some of them it's shopping mall, some of them it's education, some it's sport activities. But if you check the Zvezda itself, only few of them, and sometimes they closed. So if you just visitor of the park, you couldn't use them at all. So a lot, but not in the park, not in the day-by-day use. One more map, it's also a digital map, of course, about Zvezdarska, how high is it? It's really high, maybe the highest point in Belgrade except Avala. But for this moment, it's not used like a hill. I mean, it's one more opportunity for Zvezdara to be not just a regular park, but maybe for viewpoints. I find only one in really bad conditions, but maybe more viewpoints, maybe some tracks for mountain bikes and so on. We also need to check this and need to understand how to use park like a hill as well. The dark side of the park. The point here is the lights, so we just go at night or with lamps, let's say, and try to count how many lights in the park, because a lot of people say, okay, it's dangerous a little bit, it's dark in the winter, so we couldn't use the Zvezda because it's too dark for us. And we count all of them. 10%, by the way, is broken, so looks too dark. But important reasons here, just highlighted, it's still a protected area, so for some part of the Zvezda, they should be protected, and light pollution should be away from this part. The social analysis. We created an online survey. It was hard to create because we should, of course, create it on Serbian, so we spent a little time to translate it in Serbian. I hope it was not so hard. But a lot of people answered. Thanks for them to answer all our questions. The first question, of course, was about who are you? Who visit the park? Is it family? Is it old people? Or so? And you see, children is 20%. It's great, and we saw when we visit the park, we saw all these children here. And what is important? Okay, 20% children here, but looks on these playgrounds. This one is in good condition, but it's really, really small. It's not enough for such number of visitors. And these playgrounds around the park is still in bad conditions. And the second question is about how you spend time on this Zvezda. Just normal questions. This one was surprised me because of the times, how often you use this Zvezda. Most of the people just visit 1 or maybe 2 times in a year. So if you want to celebrate something, if you want to go to the Roshtin, okay, Zvezda is the park you will use. But for day-by-day activity, it looks like Zvezda is not enough. And yeah, it's only 2 hours if you be here. Some questions was about, okay, what we can improve here, what you need here, what you need in the park. Wayfinding. If you was in Zvezda, you saw all these sheet of paper about whole park. It's how people want to bring wayfinding system here. They always try to put additional information for other visitors. If you want to run in Zvezda, for example, there are some maps of these tracks for running, but the condition of these maps is really, really bad. The garbage, of course, the garbage, we try to find how often they collect the garbage. It's only one a week. It's not enough if you spend so many people time here. The mental maps I just mentioned before, it's a really good instrument if you want to check what people feel about this place. So what we do is just, okay, it's just try to draw the important part of the park. What you feel about this park, what you know about this park, just to draw. Here's examples how people do this. Field research. So we spent a lot of time inside the Zvezda, me and our team, like hours, maybe at night, at the morning, and day. Just count the visitors. We counted in winter first time, and another time it was in March. So after a few weeks we can count in summer as well. And yeah, if you be in Zvezda in good conditions, a lot of people there. If it's raining, nobody uses the park. So it looks like park, it's warm season only. It's one more reason for us to for some ideas. Visitor activities. Yeah, we check each activities of the visitors, what people do here, when, how long. So we also check all this information as well. Yeah, again, for different zone, for different areas of the park, how many people here and what they do, is it a teenager or a child or whatever. For cars, yeah, it's always fight with cars. Because, for example, okay, we say it's a park. Why so many cars just use this park like a transit zone? They just move from one point to another point, just through the park. Why? It's more cars than people in the park. Here, we just cut in the central area, the most beautiful and most interesting part of the Zvezda. We check how many people and what kind of people are here in the sunny day. So one point is 10 people. And again, for cars, if you see how streets or roads inside the park are organized, you see a lot of place for parking, a lot of place for cars. Sometimes it's really, really dangerous to cross the road because the cars just park and block the crosswalks, for example. So it's really, really dangerous situation about safety for kids as well. Functional zoning. When I open again the map, Zvezda is so big. When I just come to Zvezda and try to walk, I understand, okay, this part of the Zvezda is closed. This part of the Zvezda is no roads at all. So I can walk and use only, okay, not the smallest part, the biggest part of the Zvezda, but not all. And one more fun thing, a lot of people live here. If you was in the park, there are some houses, and what people feel about the park who live in these houses, they say, okay, please don't walk around our houses. Yeah, it's public park, but I feel it's my land, it's my part of the park. Do not make photos, do not walk here, let's go away. It's really strange here. By the way, it's let's 5 stars count. We always do this just to ask people what you feel about the park. Only 3 stars people put by online source. It's the same like expert rating was. It's a little bit less when we check and collect with Google. In Google it's 4, by the way. Just a nutshell, it's not like a fact, sometimes it's just hypothesis, but anyway, what for this moment, it's only 3 months, it's only the first part of the project, on the first stage. Again, not for everyday use. Season is really important, it's only for summer, it's only for rush season, it's only for this one. It's for cars more than for people. Yet it's really, really small sometimes. Okay, research is important, data is important, numbers is important, but what about people? I'm really proud, it's a lot of people who I met in the park, who I met during these projects, was really passionate about our job, about Zvezdarska Suma. And we work with not just visitors, it was activists, it was volunteers who help us. Here's some names. And I really, really want to say thanks for them, because it's really good examples when, okay, we are Russians, we know nothing, but okay, we came and asked what is happening here. And people, Dobrodoshli, it's here, it's what you can do, it's what happened. I am activist, I am neighbors. For example, Milica, who's on the first place, okay, let's go to have a tea. Wow, you know me only 15 minutes, but you just invite me in your home. It's really great, it's so kind. We have also plans for the warm season for whole year, not just in Zvezdara, but in Belgrade as well. I'm a transport planner as well, so I want to improve the public transport and maybe infrastructure for bicycles, for example. So we have several small projects about public transport as well. And for Zvezdara, I think it would be great to do something with verifying information and maybe to have some masterclass or events with people, with visitors to create something. It will be my, I don't know, my part of in here. That's all. Thank you very much. Please join us, please join our Instagram, and also if you help us with mental maps in short interview, it will be really great. Just ask me and my colleagues here, who is always trying to help me. And one more event here, it will be a workshop by our friends in the Doctor Platz.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much again. Sorry.